Right, hey guys. So this is my very first Amazing Spider-Man related project video. Right, so I'm not gonna show how I'm gonna do the puffy paint or anything, but I just want to tell you some tips. Alright, okay. For many people usually they will stretch the fabric, right, like stretch it on a styrofoam board or something like that. But I didn't do that, okay, because they say that if you do not stretch it, then when you wear it and stuff, the thing will stretch, and this puffy paint will crack and peel off. Okay, to me, if it peels off, I'm just gonna do it again, but I'm gonna be installing the zipper, so hopefully you don't crack so easily. And the good thing about puffy paint is that once you do it wrongly, you could peel it and then redo again. But there is something about it, because you see, I didn't stretch my fabric, right? It's just total flat, and this is the part where I peeled out the puffy paint. So you can see once it peeled out, the fabric pops out. Unlike the rest is flat, this pops out, right? Pops out. So but I already done the puffy again. So yeah, it's not really good, but I mean it is able to peel it out, right? It's just kind of tough because when you peel it out, you really scratch it out, so the fabric kind of like this. But no biggie, because anyway when I wear the mask, the whole mask, this is the top part, it will be like curved, so no biggie. Okay, so I'm just gonna talk about doing the black puffy paint. Okay, when you do the black puffy paint, actually you do not need to put anything under the fabric material, because it's very likely that the puffy paint will go through the material. It will just absorb into, which is why, as Jolai said, that you have to do two layers. The first layer will be very thin. You just have to draw basically very thin lines. Even if you do not draw them completely, the honeycomb pattern or anything, it doesn't matter. Then you just leave it for about, like, I mean, if you want to be confirmed or so, just let it be 1 hour or so, and it will soak into the fabric, and it will be very thin and dry, so you can trace over for the second layer. Now all this part has been done with second layer, except for the black lines, because the black lines are usually thicker. Mine is the pulse print, so it's thicker, which I like, which is easier to do, and basically the thick black puffy will just soak in, and you do not need a second layer because it's just so thick. Okay, you can see that these are the black puffy paint. It's already been like just on the light here. You can see that it's already there. Okay. Now some parts are not that perfect, but if you do that not perfectly, do not be afraid, because one box, if you look from far, it's not really gonna affect the whole appearance. So do not be so no, I don't know. Okay, this is my first mask that I'm trying, so I'm not sure if it's good enough or anything. Okay, so as for doing for the black puffy line, best you just draw here, and you notice that every point has an intersection, right? You could stop right there, but do not stop directly at the center. Just stop slightly at the center, and then you move on, and to the nearly to the center. Do you know why you do not need to stop? Do not stop at the center, because if you were drawing the vertical line of the webs down, and if you really cross the center, the intersection, then the black line will just go over, and it might cause each of your parts at the intersection to be popping out after it dry, and that won't look too appealing. So if you leave a little space in the intersection for the vertical line to just go across, and then you just lightly adjust a little bit at the empty space on the left and the right, and you have a perfect thing. So you see, basically my lines do not have that much, you know, yeah. But anyway, even if the fabric soaked in, you know, like some part you can see it's pretty thin, but it's not really needed to do a second layer, because if you watch in the movie, the Spiderman mask, the lines are very thin. It's not that obvious, so you don't really have to bother about the webbings. But yeah, so there you go. And for the red puffy to do it, the red honeycomb, just like Jolai said it, to do the staircase method, You start probably at right here, and you just go up, right, up, right, up, right, up, right. Okay, best is to shake the bottle, right? You don't really have to shake a few hours. Okay, people say you shake a few hours and let it rest. You do not need, okay? I open the bottle straight away, shake a little bit, probably a minute or two, and I'll straight away just do it. Right, try not to shake it with the bottle upside down, because if you do that, then many of the paint will be stuck here, and if you just use a little bit pressure, a lot of paint will come out, and that will destroy the thin, very thin honeycomb patterns. So you just shake it with the bottle cap on top, just shake it. I am not using the tulip bottle, this is the bottle I'm using, but I believe it's similar to the paint as tulip brand, because probably they are the same manufacturer or something. You could look at the color right here, right? Okay, so best is not to use the 4OZ bottles because they're very huge. This is just like 1.1 OZ. This is just the perfect size. Easy to grab it, easy to press, right? So you just want to press right here. So shake it, standing up, just shake it like that, and just use a little bit of pressure and keep going. Let's say if you keep going and then you accidentally did not cover the line and there's a space in between, do not go back, just carry on, and later you just press a little bit thin line, thin strength, a little strength, and then you just go over it, right? So just go over it and let it soak, and then you do the second layer again. You see, you have to draw very thin lines, right? And advice too, the first layer you do should look crappy. What I mean in crappy is because some parts will be popping up at a intersection, and some part will soak into the fabric. So do not think that it's so ugly and then you go erasing it again. The second layer, when you trace over, is much easier. And please draw very thin lines. You can see how thin my lines are. Okay, except for some, that is because I started very early like this. This is totally not even a honeycomb, but like I said, if you just look over the whole thing, if I didn't tell you that part, you probably just look like a normal mask. So no biggie again. I don't want to just peel it off again. So I mean, to me, it really doesn't matter. Not that do not give a damn or anything. So yeah, then once you do the upright staircase method, you just connect the lines, right? And you really have to do not use too much pressure, because if you use too much pressure, then probably at some parts when you connect the lines, the parts will be very thick. Yeah. So for the puffy to totally dry, it takes fast, but I don't know, I just to be sure, just to be sure, you don't want to ruin it. I ruined many parts of it, like I smudged the fabric because it haven't dried, and I accidentally touched it and then it smudged out. Okay, like you see some part of the black paint, puffy paint at the other side of the mask there is, but I'm not going to flip over. So let's say if you smudge the paint, quickly use a tissue, and let's say if it's in the middle of your work process, use a tissue, fold it into about your fingertip, just bend the tissue very thinly, and then you just use your finger and lightly dab it away, like dab it away, and do not worry if it looks ugly, because most probably the first time it will soak into the fabric. And like what other people say, you could use facial tissues, the wet kinds, like baby wipes or so. You give it a wipe, but let it dry and soak into the fabric first. So because if you just straight away to wipe it and you do the puffy, it might cause some chemical reaction between the liquid and the puffy paint, which I don't know what will happen, right? I did not try it myself. I didn't use baby wipes. I just quickly use, best is less than 10 seconds, you quickly wipe it out. So do not freak out too much, alright? I know it's pretty stressful. This is my first mask, furthermore. So basically, yeah, you just connect the lines for the red puffy, and for the black lines, you can start at the intersection. You just carry on drawing. And remember to shake the bottle standing like that and not upside down. Alright, so basically that's about it. Yeah, okay, hope you guys enjoy. Peace out.